Okay, we're back here. What I ended up discovering is that the case had a little crack in it. I was going to take a guess that the chain might have fallen off at one time and cracked the case back here. So somebody had actually taken on the whole back of this, taken some JB weld and fixed the case, which doesn't look like it's leaking at all there, and I'm not going to mess around with that. Besides, you know, taking the whole engine apart and replacing the half of the case, which is the center half of the cases, there's not really much I can do. So I put the new seal in, I greased up the inside of it, and I put some Yama Bond. I didn't use any epoxy, I decided against that. I just took a little Yama Bond and I shoved it into the little crack in between the metal and the JB weld. And then I put some Yama Bond all around the whole hole and then pressed the new seal in, and then just took a little bit on the outside here and put some Yama Bond around there to seal it, so when it all dries it'll be kind of like one unit, I hope, and should seal it off pretty good. So I'm going to go back over the other side and show you something else we did here. Get this complete. Is I took the here's your shift shaft, and I took the wire wheel and cleaned this up right where this is right where the seal rides, right on the spot right here. So you want that to be, to make sure there's no ridges in that or anything. If you'd have to take a piece of emery cloth or whatever and clean that up kind of nice. And then hold on for a second. You're gonna take a little bit of grease here. I already put some on the inside of the seal, but just gonna take a tiny bit of grease and put it on the shaft itself, and then we're gonna put this back in, and everything should still be lined up good. And you're gonna feel about where the seal is. You're gonna feel it go through. Make sure that this pin, it goes, the springs go around the outside of this pin, and you just push it right through, and that should be it. So we replaced the shift shaft seal. So now the only other thing we got to do is, what I'm going to do is take the scrape this gasket all off of the clutch cover. I'm going to take a gasket scraper. You can sometimes use a one-sided razor blade without scratching the cases. I'm going to start doing this just to show you. I'm going to take a one-sided razor blade here. We're going to start lifting this gasket up. You don't want to scratch the aluminum of the cover, because it won't seal good afterwards. You pretty much, this is coming off really nice and easy. Thank God. Move this out of the way. And we're going to go all the way around. I hope you can see that. And just kind of lift that up, give it a little help. Make sure you don't lose any of these locating pins. You see one stayed in the motor and one stayed in the cover. So that's good. And all around here by where that part's stuck on a little bit, so let me put a little goop on there. We're going to get that gasket all out of there. Maybe if we're lucky we can get it off one piece, although we've got a new one we're going to use, so it's no big deal if you don't. Just a little help. Peels its way up nice. There we go. Old gasket's off. And I'm going to take some parts cleaner I'm going to clean that whole edge up really nice and clean the whole cover out. I'm going to end up changing it. I'm going to put some new oil in it. I mean, why you got it apart? I wouldn't dump the old oil in. And as a matter of fact, the old oil has a tiny bit of milkiness to it, which tells me one of two things. It's either getting a little condensation. It might have gotten a little drowned, which is all possible because, as I just noticed in here, there's a vent hose for the crankcase right in here, and that doesn't have a hose on it. So it should have a hose that runs to the bottom of the engine and makes it a lot harder for the water to get in that. So when he's spraying this, I know he power washes this bike. So when he's spraying this bike, he's probably getting water into the tranny a little bit. That's why there's not a lot of it, but there's enough of it to notice. So I'm going to get a rubber line and put it on that for him. Put it down through here and seal that off so he doesn't get any water in there. But it's pretty much put the clutch cover gasket, new clutch cover gasket on there. You don't have to use, as long as the edges, you don't find any bad edges on cover or the cases. If there was a big gouge somewhere, I put a little Yama Bond right on the gouge, but really nowhere else. But just seal it up. I mean, just put it on, don't seal it up, I'm sorry. Just put it on the new gasket with no kind of sealer at all, like I say, unless it does have some sort of a scratch or something you want to seal. But you should be able to just use it. The material is made to not have any kind of adhesive put on it or gasket sealer. So we're going to clean that all up, and we're going to start putting this all back together. But that's pretty much how you change that seal, and I hope that this was a little help to you.